Jó reggelt kívánok! Hogy vagy? Jó? I bet that drives some people crazy hearing that every day. I can think of a few that I would think that they just cringe every time they hear me say Jó reggelt kívánok! Hogy vagy? But then there's probably several that watch my videos that it's like music to their ears every morning to wake up and hear some strange guy on YouTube saying Yoda Gelt Kivano, saying good morning to them. So anyway, take it for what it is. So, hmm, boy, that's good. Where do I find myself today? Ah, Krakow, Krakow. What a beautiful city that is. God, I love Krakow. Krakow is one of those cities that if you had multiple lives to live, Uh, I could see myself living in Krakow. It's really a nice city and good food. Really good food. But anyway, what the heck is on my mind today? Oh, you're probably recognizing. You're probably thinking, "Where's the bathrobe?" or "Where's the bike outfit?" or whatever. Or you might be thinking, "I remember that shirt. Sure, that shirt and Tom go way back." Way back to the day when I think when I first moved here to Fort Myers, and I would do these videos in the morning, and I'd be going to the gym every morning, and I think it wasn't more than, well, it was several times I think that somebody might have made a comment that I wear the same shirt every day or or something like that, and I think that's when I switched to the bathrobe. I think. When somebody was saying that I wear the same shirt every day, I thought, okay, I'll just do my videos in a bathrobe or something like that. I don't remember. But no, anyway, so I'm shaking things up a bit. For the last 3 weeks or something, every morning I've been going out on my bike ride. And, I learned some time back that it's good to mix things up a little bit. You don't get into the same routine or something. If you're doing the same thing, from an exercise perspective, every day, your body kind of adapts to that, as far as trying to lose weight or whatever. So you want to kind of, find a balance between doing different exercise routines. But anyway, I just didn't feel like riding my bike today, so I'm going to go and do the treadmill like I used to do. And I'll be back on the bike tomorrow. But what else is on my mind? Mother's Day. Mother's Day. As I was thinking about Mother's Day today, I mean, how can you wake up on Mother's Day and not think about your mother? I don't think it's possible. But when you think of holidays, I mean, Mother's Day and Father's Day, for that matter, really are right up there. Mother's Day, I think, always has had a little bit more, oh, I don't know, maybe a little bit more significance than Father's Day, perhaps. I maybe not, but anyway, there's Christmas and there's Fourth of July and there's Thanksgiving. Those are really important days. And I guess you would have to say Memorial Day is an important holiday. But you can throw Mother's Day right up there with with all the other other important holidays. I don't know if today is as much a holiday as it is a day of remembrance, a day of recognition. Whatever you want to call it. But how can one wake up on Mother's Day and not think about their mother? And as I was getting dressed, to get ready to go down to the fitness center, I found myself thinking a little bit about my relationship with my mom. And they say that hindsight is 20/20, and meaning you can look back on your life and you didn't really understand things at the time, but as you go down the path of life and you turn around in the military, they say an about face. When you do an about face in life, You can turn back and you can look at things, that happened in your life or people that were a part of your life, and see how those people influence, the path that you're on. And, probably as I was thinking this morning, there's probably not one single individual that has had more of an influence on my life than my mother. My mother is probably the single one person that's had the most significant impact on making me who I am today, good or bad, both good and bad. And my dear mother, she's in her 80s at the moment. I think she's 80, 84, 85, something along those lines. And she lives up in Ohio with my sister. And as I look back over as I reflect back on my life, and the relationship with my mother, and my parents and what have you. My mom and dad had 10 children, 10 of us. They actually had 11 of us. They had 11 of us, and I lost a brother just after childbirth. But they raised 10 of us, and with the exception of myself, we all turned out pretty good, which is saying something. If you raise 10 children, and 90% of them, 9 out of 10, turn out okay, you're doing all right. That's a passing grade. That's an A. I think the cutoff on an A is 90%. So my parents, they got an A when it came to raising kids. They scored a 90%. And it's interesting because as I look back over the course of my life, and I look back over my childhood and everything, and that score of 90%, really, in great part, it was a joint effort on my parents. Don't get me wrong. My parents both played significant roles in achieving that 90% score. But the interesting thing is that, my mother was always the backbone. My mother was the backbone of the family. My mother was the oh she was the she made sure everything was done, and she kept us on the straight and narrow. She was the disciplinarian. And the amount of work, I go out into the world now, and I see parents with one child, two child, three children, or whatever, and I see how they struggle, with raising just a couple children or three children or something, or even one child. And then I think back to the fact that my parents raised 10 of us, and just the fact that 9 of us turned out okay, is really, really saying something. I mean, that is really, really, that's really saying something. And my mother, a lot of that credit would go to my mom, because of her strong will, and her perseverance. The work that she used to do in that house was just incredible. The amount of laundry, that that she used to do. And I laugh because she used to. I won't go into details, but I slept in a bedroom with. Slept in a bedroom with my 5 brothers. And to the best of my knowledge, or best of my recollection, I think my mom had to wash the sheets for 5 of the 6 boys, for most of their childhood, and what have you. But every day, I should say, had to wash the sheets every day. But anyway, it was a what a what an incredible what an incredible woman. You know, to for her, for my mom, I at least I hope, Mom, you might be watching this video, you may not be, but you know, to sit there at this point in time in your life and to look back over the course of your life and see what you achieved. You know, to look at your children and see what you know what you achieved with your efforts of raising, you know, raising 10 kids, 9 of which, you know, came out really good, really well, I should say. But you know, what an achievement, what a absolute accomplishment. And you know, you should be proud. You should be proud of your proud of yourself and your accomplishments. But what else is so a lot of stuff on my mind today. Hmm. I set up that website for that guy in Marietta, Georgia yesterday. You can look at it. It's accuratecareauto.com, ACCURATE, accurate care, CARE, auto.com, accuratecareauto.com. And you know, when you go to the website, if you go to the website, you'll see a picture of Randall, my newest client, with his wife Brandy and their little boy Bryce. And it's such an adorable picture. And I looked at that picture, and unfortunately, the way that the picture was taken, they were centered in the picture as opposed to being off to one side or the other. And I had to use some Photoshop skills to basically magically move them to one side and then make the photo, you know, extend the photo, make it try to look realistic or what have you. But anyway, what a challenge that's going to be for me. You know, if you Google, you know, more times than not, when I take on a client and I Google something like auto repair, whatever the city is, auto repair Fort Myers, auto repair, whatever. Usually, when I take on a client and I Google auto repair something, they usually show up somewhere on page 1 of the search results, maybe the top of page 2 or something like that. But this morning I sat down and I typed in auto repair Marietta, and lo and behold, this guy is on bottom of page 6, and I'm thinking to myself, Mamma Mia, you know, I don't know, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with that. If this guy jumps, you know, mark the calendar, whatever the date is today. If this guy jumps from page 6 to page 1, you know, for ranking for auto repair Marietta, you know, then I think arguably you could say that you know, my product or my service is something really special. But time will tell if that happens. But what else is on my mind? I went shopping yesterday. I went to look at the generator that I'm thinking about buying. And you can go, there's a company called Harbor Freight, Harbor, Harbor Freight. I only spell these words to help Skip Smith out. You know, yesterday was Skip Smith's birthday. He's getting older. But I only, when I spell out these words like harbor or something, that I'm sure it's obvious to a lot of you folks, you know, but I spell these out to help, you know, to help Skip Smith a little bit. But anyway, I'm just teasing you, Skipper. But anyway, hmm. But anyway, so I went down to Harbor Freight to look at this not compressor, a generator, and it weighs about 97 pounds, and it puts out, I guess, what, 3,500 watts. And when you're going to buy a generator for like an RV or something like that, you have to look on every electrical device, so to speak, and see how many watts that device uses. You know, like a 100-watt light bulb uses 100 watts, obviously. Well, a microwave might use 800 watts, or a refrigerator might use 600 watts, you know, whatever it is. So, you know, to power my little camper, I was told that I should have about 3,000, you know, minimum 3,000 watts. So I found this generator at Harbor Freight, and it's called the brand is called Predator, Predator, Skipper. But the brand is called Predator, and it runs about it'll run about $800. And the nice thing about having a generator is that as my lovely travel companion and I are traveling across America this summer, we won't have to go without, air conditioning. Right now, the way it is, I can pull into a parking lot of a rest area or whatever, and I've got a propane tank that'll give me heat. I can use heat, the furnace. I can't use the microwave with the propane, and I can't use the air conditioning with the propane. And then the camper has a 12, I guess a 12-volt battery that will power, like, the lights and maybe the radio or something like that. But anyway, so I look at this generator, and it's 98 pounds. Either it's heavy or I'm old, you know, or a combination of both. But it's I'm trying to think whether or not I'm gonna buy this thing, and I probably will end up buying it. And it'll sit in the back of my back bed of my pickup truck. And So we'll see. We'll see if I'm gonna invest in that money. I probably will. We'll probably be out there somewhere in the middle of the desert. And if I didn't buy the if I didn't buy the if I didn't buy the generator, I'd be kicking myself in the ass, or maybe my lovely travel companion would be kicking me in the ass for having not bought the generator. But anyway, from looking at the generator, I went over to a store called Best Buy, where you buy laptops and cameras and all that kind of stuff. And those of you that follow me, you'll recall that my entire life got stolen out of a bag in Portugal. My laptop, my camera, my Alexa, my everything. It all got stolen out of my bag, and I slowly have been buying the stuff that that I have to have to do my business and what have you. But I've been a little bit slow in buying the other stuff, like the gimbal, that you mount the camera on and you do these great videos and all that kind of stuff. And I've been delaying the purchase of those items, and pretty much just because I just don't know that I want to spend the money, and I don't know that I want to allocate all the time and effort. Doing this kind of video, just talking, it requires no effort whatsoever. All I do is just turn the camera on, and when I'm finished, I hit the little X in the top right corner, and I go about my day. But there to go out and do these full production videos, where you have to splice little segments together and all that type of crap. It takes time. It takes time, and it takes effort, and you got to deal with all this stuff. I talked to Skip Smith the other day, who's on an RV trip right now, and he was telling me that I asked him if he's doing his videos, and he says, "Well, I was sitting in a Starbucks and a Walmart or a Target or whatever the hell it was." He said, "I was sitting there doing my videos, and it was just uploading, like, it took 20 minutes to upload 1% of the video." And I just said, "Screw it, forget it." And as he told me that, I thought, boy, I've been there, I've done that. I don't know that I necessarily want to do that all again. And that's not to say that, when I travel across the country, it's not to say that I won't do that. Again, it's not to say that I won't do videos. But anyway, we will see, as the saying goes. I went on a website this morning called Harvest Host, where there's farms and wineries and stuff that will let you stay for free with your camper, usually in hope that you're going to buy some eggs, or buy some wine, or something like that. But anyway, I found this adorable little farm, just north of Tallahassee, which would be perfect for the first day stop. And they have little baby goats and chickens and the whole, the whole 9 yards, as the saying goes. And I could just as easily do a video with my cell phone as I could, going out and spending $2,000 on a camera and a gimbal or something like that. But anyway, so that is, that was the other thing with shopping that I had to get out of my way. And all the while that I've been thinking about, my lovely travel companion coming in on Wednesday. You know, as I drive about, and I go throughout my day, I find myself thinking that here in a few days, I'm not going to be alone anymore. I'm going to have somebody else in my life, and albeit in the context of a friend. Okay, albeit in the context of a friend. This lovely lady is coming over, and we're going to spend 3 months together. And it's not the first time that I've done something like this, where I've spent time with essentially a stranger. But she's not a stranger in that sense of the word, because we've had numerous conversations over Skype and the phone, and I've met her a couple times in person. So it's not like we're strangers, in that sense of the word. But to live with somebody day in day out for several weeks, several months, whatever it is, you gotta really like that person, and that person really gotta like you. And as I was thinking about this yesterday, the whole it adds a different dynamic. If you're traveling with somebody that you're romantically involved with, or somebody that you want to be romantically involved with, then that's one thing. But when you're traveling with somebody that you're not romantically involved with, and that per se you don't want to be romantically involved with them, or they don't want to be romantically involved with you, or whatever it is, that's a whole nother dynamic as well. So it's just kind of interesting as I give this some thought, and I get myself mentally prepared for this trip. I find myself, as my coffee turns off, but I find myself thinking, I'm just putting myself into the right mindset. I'm getting myself into the right mindset insofar as this travel arrangement. And the most important thing to me is that we have a safe trip, that it's a memorable trip, that it's a productive trip, that it's a fun trip. Those are the things. Those are the things that are the most important to me. I don't want a trip that is filled with stress. I don't want a trip that I can't wait for it to end. That kind of stuff. I just want a nice, casual, fun, safe journey across the United States. I want it to be productive. I want to, generate some new business, and see some existing clients, and see some old friends, and what have you. And as far as this lovely lady is concerned, I hope she wants to do the videos. All honesty, I hope that she'll want to partake in the videos, because you'll love her to death. She's just she has such a beautiful spirit about her, and a gentle soul, and just a laughter to die for. She's got a laugh that is just one of these laughs that you just absolutely can't get enough of. But I hope that she wants to do the videos. But I'm just intent that I'm going to. I feel a certain a responsibility, like I got to take care of her. She's entrusting me. She's entrusting me with her safety and her well-being, in the hope of living a dream, and seeing seeing a place that she's only seen in movies and stuff. So I take that responsibility seriously, and I'm going to respect her. Respect her privacy, and just give her the respect that anybody would hope to get, um, as we travel across the country. But I found myself thinking, and this is here comes the low hanging fruit part. I found myself thinking that at some point in time, a woman is going to come into my life, and my heart is like low hanging fruit, meaning that my heart is just it's hanging low on the tree, and it's just ready to be picked. And and that might sound a little bit crazy, but I'm a little bit cautious to say this, because I've had some really, really wonderful relationships in my life. I've had some really, really special ladies come into my life in the past. And for me to stand here and say that I'm ready for, I'm ready for that ultimate relationship. I'm ready for that lifelong partnership. Having had the wonderful ladies in my past, it's kind of, I don't know what the word would be, ironic to be saying such a thing, but my heart is like a low hanging fruit right now. It's just going to take the right woman at the right time to come into my life, and she'll just, without very much effort, she'll be able to just pick it off the tree, and it'll be hers. And it's well, whether it's this lovely lady, I have no idea. I have no idea. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where, like I've said in past videos, you just let go, let God. If something is meant to be, if something is meant to happen, it'll happen by itself, without any effort on one's part. So time will tell. But anyway, so that's about it. That's about it for the day. Time to get on with my day, and let you do the same. All of you mothers out there, you know what? I wish you the happiest of Mother's Days, and hope you have a great day. All right, take it. Oh, we got to do our question of the day. What would that be without what would one of my videos be without a question of the day? Alexa, what's the question of the day?
Good morning. Here is today's question of the day. The topic is arts and entertainment. It is worth 1 point. In film, cartoons, and comic books, what are the characters Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, and Donatello collectively known as? Choose from the following. A. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. B. Power Rangers. C. The Smurfs. Or D. Masters of the Universe.
A.
Nicely done. You have earned your third arts and entertainment badge and 1 point. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are 4 fictional teenage anthropomorphic turtles who fight crime in New York City.
I pulled that out of my you-know-what. Oh, goodness gracious. Today's quote is, or high hope is, live your truth. Forgive me if I'm repeating some of these, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that hasn't heard this one. Live your truth. Mold your life around your beliefs, not the other way around. Lose your preconceptions, and your truth will emerge. Live your own truth, not someone else's truth. And here is the quote from the day: "There is no God higher than truth. That was from Mahatma Gandhi, who said that. There is no God higher than truth. So, anyway, as a closing note, I'll share this with you. A client of mine, Gary Jennings, turned me on to a book. Gary's always turning me on to these great books on Audible. And he turned me on to the book that probably many of you have heard the title of, but maybe never picked up. And it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it's a great book. I put it on my phone, and I take my phone and put on the book and turn on the sleep timer and put it under my pillow at night as I doze off to sleep. And I'm really enjoying the book. It's a good listen, as the saying goes, not a good read. It's a good listen. And what's interesting is as I was listening to the book today, they were talking, and he was saying, one of the most fundamental things that you can learn about becoming rich is the fundamental principle. And this is what my dad used to tell me all the time. My dad used to say this all the time to me. He'd say, Tommy, it's not how much money you make that's important. It's how much money you save that's important. That's something that my dad used to teach me. I talk about, things my mother taught me, and my mother's influence on making me who I am today. But my dad had a lot of contributions into making me who I am today as well. And one of the things was that saying, he used to say, my dad used to say, it's not, I'd come home from shoveling a driveway, or, a blizzard would come through, and I'd be out all night on a school night till 9:30, 11 o'clock at night, shoveling driveways. And I'd come home and I'd say, Dad, I made $58 tonight. And he'd say, Tommy, it's not important how much money you made tonight. What's important is how much money you're going to save of the money you made tonight. And, and that was one of the things Dad used to always say to me. He used to always, another thing he used to always say was, Tommy, at my age, all women are beautiful. So anyway, have a great day.